And let's start seated on this cold morning. So finding a comfortable spot, letting the feet rest down on the ground. And letting your sit bones rest down in the chair. And feel a sense that the crown of the head is lifting, that you've got some stretching or some length in the spine. Just breathe here for a few moments. Eyes can be open or closed, whatever your preference is. And let the hands rest wherever they feel good. Noticing if either sit bone has a little more weight than the other, and evening out that weight distribution, letting both hold you equally. Letting the shoulders melt down with an exhale. Letting the breath flow as smoothly and easily as possible this morning. Starting to let go of anything that's happened so far today. Letting go of any anticipation for what's yet to come. And just breathing here right now in this moment. Maybe allowing the breath to slow down any amount. And then imagine that you are breathing in through only your left nostril. And breathing out through the right. In through the left. And out through the right. Continuing to visualize. Breathing through one nostril at a time. In through the left. And out through the right. And let go of that visualization and breathe through both nostrils for a few moments. And then we'll switch directions. Breathe in, or imagine you're breathing in through the right. And out through the left. In through the right. Out through the left. Continuing for a few more rounds. And then letting that visualization go after your next exhale. And breathing through both nostrils. And if eyes are closed, you can flutter them open. Before we start moving into the head and neck, let's actually take a big stretch. So wherever your arms feel good going, just stretching the arms out either wide or up. Imagine reaching the sit bones and feet down into the earth while the crown of the head and the fingertips reach up and away. Just breathing into the stretched sides. And then releasing hands down when you're ready. Letting them come to rest on your lap again. We'll move into the head. With your next exhale, let's tip the chin down towards the chest. Breathing space into the back of the neck for a few breaths. And as you're ready, and with an inhale, we'll lift the head, lift the chin, tipping the head up. And then exhale to tip the chin back down towards the chest. About 3 more times, inhaling to lift. And exhaling to lower. Noticing sensations in your neck as you move. And then as you're ready, making your way back to center. Letting the head come forward again. Giving yourself the time and space to notice sensations anywhere that they might arise. Let's turn the head from side to side, starting again with an inhale and center. As you exhale, turning the head to look over one shoulder. And inhaling back to center as you're ready. And exhaling in the other direction. Continuing to move, moving with your body's rhythm. Eyes can be open or closed. One more time on each side until you feel even. And then slowly making your way back to center as you're ready. Next, move with the head in a diagonal, starting again in center with an inhale. As you exhale, turning or tipping one ear towards one shoulder. And then inhaling back up. Exhaling other ear to other shoulder. Continuing to move. Moving slowly and gently. Noticing whatever you feel in your neck. maybe in the tops of the shoulders. And when you feel even, again, making your way back to center. Giving yourself again the time and space, noticing sensations. Let's move down into the shoulders. Starting with our shoulder rolls. So hands can lift or they can stay on your lap. And moving the shoulders in whichever direction feels more natural first. And switching directions when you're ready. And releasing the shoulders down, giving yourself that pause to notice sensations. And let's reach the arms out wide. And we'll find some little circles. And again, whichever direction feels more natural first. Maybe the circles can get a little wider. Not going into any points of strain or pain in the shoulders. We're just exploring the range of motion. And let's switch directions. We can stay equally big, and then we'll slowly wind down. Letting the circles get smaller and smaller. Until you're reaching the arms out wide again. Then let's imagine we're holding doorknobs, one in each hand. We'll turn the doorknobs forward, finding our internal rotation. And then turning the doorknobs backwards, external rotation. Moving between these two shapes, forward and back. A few more times. And then releasing the hands when you're ready. We'll stretch into the arms a little bit next. Let's start with the right hand. Reaching the hand up as high as feels okay. So that might be out to the side, and it might be up above your head. So wherever that arm feels okay to go, and then bending at the elbow to let the hand come either towards your shoulder or to rest on your head. If your arm is straight up, you can rest the forearm on your head or drop the hand behind your head. So there's sort of a large range of motion, or large bunch of options. So you might be reaching towards shoulder, the arm might be higher, arm might rest on your head, or the hand might dip behind your head. So kind of anywhere along this line. Then let's bring the left hand to the elbow. So whether it's above your head or you're reaching across your body, and we're kind of helping that elbow to stretch a little bit. So again, we're not going into any amount of pain. The hand is there a little bit for support. If the right elbow is above your head, you might use the left hand to help stretch a little more into the upper arm. And breathing here. If the elbow is reaching up above your head, you might push the elbow into the hand and push the hand back, finding a little bit of resistance. You can ignore that if your elbow is out to the side. 2 more breaths, but feels okay to be here. And then let's release both arms. Let them hang down by your sides for a moment. Let the hands be heavy. Let the shoulders melt down. And then we'll set up on the other side. So left arm will lift as high as feels okay. So it might be out to the side. It might be reaching up or anywhere along this line. Then we'll bend at the elbow, bringing the hand either to the shoulder, to the head. The forearm might come to the head, or the hand might reach back behind your head. With the opposite hand, we'll bring to the elbow, just as support. So if the elbow is reaching all the way sort of up towards the ceiling, you might use the right arm as resistance. The elbow pushing into the hand pushing back. If the elbow's out to the side, you can ignore that, and it's just there for support. Breathing here. One more breath. And then let's release, letting the hands hang down by the sides, letting the hands be heavy, arms be heavy. Bringing the hands now in genie position in front of you. I've got my left forearm on top, but it doesn't matter which one's on top. We'll switch in a minute. Keeping the torso as straight as possible. We'll move the elbows from one side and to the other, stretching into the shoulders a little bit, stretching into the upper arms a little bit. Seeing if you can keep your torso as stationary as possible and just moving into the arms and shoulders.
Should we be coordinating our in-breath and out-breath with this?
You can, if you like. We could either move really slowly, inhaling to center and exhaling to one side, or you could inhale all the way to one side, exhale all the way to the other. Kind of whatever feels right. And let's release the arms. Let them hang heavy down by your side again, maybe a shrug of the shoulders. And then we'll reset, other forearm on top. And again, moving, shifting one elbow to one way, shifting the elbows from one side to the other, keeping the torso as forward as possible. Coordinating breath if you wish, either exhaling all the way to one side and inhaling all the way to the other, or inhaling to center and exhaling as you move to one side. And then let's release the arms. Letting them hang down by your sides again, maybe a little shrug of the shoulders, maybe shaking of the hands. Let's stretch the fingers out wide and then make a fist. And stretch the fingers out wide again, moving between the fist and the stretch. And then maybe a little shake of the hands again. And we'll continue moving down into the spine. Let's find our twist next. Let's use crossed legs today. So I like to bring my legs as close as possible before crossing one over the other. And then I'll cross right over left. Finding a tall spine. Sit bones are still reaching heavily down, as even as they can be. Crown of the head reaches up. As you exhale, we'll turn the shoulders towards the left. The left hand might come back beside your hip or to the backrest of the chair. If it feels good for the neck, you might look over the left shoulder. Imagine sending your breath into your ribs, creating space in the lungs. And then slowly unwinding, coming back to center. Unwinding the legs, letting the feet be as close together as feels okay. Pausing for a moment here. And then we'll set up on the other side, crossing left over right. Letting the sit bones be as even as possible. Inhaling in a tall spine. As you exhale, turning towards the right. The right hand might come back beside your hip or to the backrest of the chair. And you might gaze over your right shoulder if it feels okay for the neck. Breathing into the ribs. And then as you're ready, unwinding, coming back to center.
I'm doing chair yoga.
Oh.
Oops. Sorry.
That's okay. Coming back to your center point, noticing how the body feels. If there's any difference in sensation from one side to the other. Let's move into our cat-cows next. I'll turn sideways, but you can stay as you are. Letting the hands rest on your knees or thighs, arms reaching into a fairly straight position. Inhaling in this center place. As you exhale, let's push the knees or thighs away. We'll spread the shoulder blades apart and round or hollow out the belly so that the belly button's pulling towards the back of the room. The chin might dip down towards the chest. With an inhale, we'll bring the chest forward through the upper arms, pulling the shoulder blades back towards each other and sending the belly and tipping the hips forward. Exhaling to round like a Halloween cat. Inhaling to come into cow, chest forward, arching the back. Continuing to move between these two shapes, following the pattern of your body and moving with breath. Inhaling to arch and exhaling to round. This movement can be as subtle or as deep as feels good in your body. It might change from day to day. And then coming all the way back to center when you're ready. Finding the tall spine, the neutral spine. Feeling the sit bones resting down in the chair again, the backs of the thighs supported, crown of the head reaching up, back of the neck long. And coming back to your breath. Let's next find our side bend. For our side bend today, let's bring fingertips to the shoulders, reaching the arms out or the elbows out as far as feels okay. Slight push of the feet into the ground, inhale. As you exhale, tipping over to one side. Inhaling back up. And exhaling to the other side. Continuing to move about twice more on each side. Following your breath. And making your way back to center. Releasing the hands once more back into your lap. Giving yourself a chance to notice sensations. Let's come down into our core work. Bringing the hands to the knees. Sitting up nice and tall, finding that neutral spine. You might start off by coughing just to feel where your muscles activate, what sensations that brings. Noticing what areas tighten and contract, then release. We'll bring the hands to the knees and start pushing hands into the knees. And then start to imagine bringing your knees up into your hands. Keep breathing. And then release both hands and knees. Might find a little twist or a little wiggle. See if you can consciously soften the belly. Take a deep inhale to release any of that contraction. And then we'll set up, we'll do 2 more. Hands to knees, finding your tall and neutral spine. And then push into your knees and pull the knees up into your hands. Keep breathing. And release. Finding any wiggling again that would feel good. Maybe a deep breath into the belly if you can soften the belly. And last one, setting yourself up, tall spine. Hands push into knees. Knees push back into hands. One more full breath cycle. And release when you're ready. A little wiggle or a little twist. Breathing into the belly if that feels okay. To release, it can also feel good just to drape yourself over your legs, finding a bit of a forward fold. Maybe letting the head feel a little bit heavy for a moment if that feels good for the neck. And see if it's any easier to soften the belly in this position. And then coming back up. Move down into the legs, shifting forward on your chair so the sit bones are closer to the edge, but still stable. Let's start off with the right leg, drawing right knee up towards you. And we'll move this leg in big circles, as big as feels okay, noticing your range of motion or finding your range of motion. No discomfort in the knee or hip. Just lubricating the joint with movement. Let's switch directions when you're ready. Circling in the other way. And bringing the knee forward. Let's find our ankle circles. Switching directions. And then pointing and flexing the foot a couple of times. And then releasing right foot back to the floor. When you're ready, drawing the left knee up towards you. And finding circles in the hip on this side. Switching directions when you're ready. And then bringing the knee forward. We'll find some ankle circles, left side. Switching directions when you're ready. Pointing and flexing the foot a couple of times. And then releasing left foot back to the floor. Bringing your hands behind you on your chair. The palms can rest behind you. Pulling the shoulder blades back. Just finding a little bit of an upper back bend. Just a very slight one. So you're pulling your shoulder blades back towards each other. And then let's stretch both feet out long so the heels are on the floor. Let the feet be flexed and push into your heels. So there might be a little bit of a stretch in the backs of the legs. And how would it feel to pull the knees in towards you as far as possible? And then stretching the legs out long again. Pulling the knees in and stretching the legs out long. About twice more. Then let's bring the feet back to the mat. Sitting up again, and we'll come to standing. Any way that feels good for you today. I won't drag you in through a chair today. Find something that you can hold in your hands. It might be a tea towel, it could be a bathrobe belt or a winter scarf or a dog leash. A ribbon, a yoga strap if you happen to have one. It could be a t-shirt or a sweatshirt as well if you've got something lying around. So the idea being that it's wide enough so that the hands can come up overhead in a wide V. So if that feels okay, perfect. So once you've got your wide V, reach arms up and overhead. And then we'll start moving the towel or the strap, your arms, in circles above your head. So imagine you're drawing or you're making circles sort of in front and behind your head, getting into the shoulders a little bit. And then we'll broaden the movement, allowing the ribs to move a little bit. So we're coming down into the torso a bit. The legs can be a little further apart if that feels good, with the knees a little bit bent, just to give some stability to the legs. And then we'll make it even bigger, maybe moving down into the torso, into the waist. Big circles. If it would feel good even to bend forward, dipping down, that's an option. You can kind of test, let this be a little bit intuitive. Back and forward. And then making your way back up, stretching the strap or your arms up overhead again. And then we'll make circles in the other direction, starting just with the shoulders. Seeing if we can bring the strap back behind the head any amount. And then starting to move into the ribs a little bit, part way down the torso. And then letting the movement get even bigger. Moving into the waist, maybe into the whole body or the whole torso. And then when you're ready to finish, let's just reach up one more time before releasing the strap down. Beautiful. We can put our tea towel or strap off to the side. And we'll find a couple of standing poses. Let's start off by using the backrest of the chair. And we'll step the feet wide. I've got my left hip towards the chair, left hand resting on the chair. Stepping the feet wide. And coming up onto the left heel, or the heel of the foot that's closest to the chair, and then turn the toes to point towards the chair. Then place toes back down. Let's bend any amount into this front knee. So we're not letting the knee collapse forward. We're keeping the knee back in line with the toes to keep the knee safe. We'll be finding side angle pose today. So to start, we could find our warrior two shape, which would be arms out wide. One hand could stay on the chair or both could reach out wide. This is our warrior two variation. Beautiful. From here, to find side angle, the front hand can either come to the backrest of the chair or to the knee, Or the forearm could come to the chair, or the forearm could come to the knee. So we've got a few variations: hand, or forearm, or forearm. The right hand or the top hand can come to the waist. The elbow could reach back. Or if your shoulder's up for it, or it would feel good, we could find big sweeping circles with this top arm. So maybe this arm sweeps in a big arc around. It might feel better just to leave the hand on the waist as well. So this is your practice, you get to choose. After we've done about 3 circles, we'll bring hand to the waist if it's not there already. We'll make our way back up, maybe stretching the arms out one more time, warrior 2, before straightening the front leg, bringing the toes forward, and then releasing the hands, walking the feet back in, and finding any little counter movement that feels necessary or good. And then we'll set up on the other side. I'll switch my chair so that I'm still facing the camera. So my right hand is resting on the chair. I'll step the feet wide. This time coming up onto my right heel, turning the toes so that the toes point towards the chair. And then bending into my right knee, keeping the knee in line with my toes. So I'm not letting the knee collapse forward. I'm drawing the knee back behind me. This can be a deep bend or a shallow bend, whatever feels right this morning. Let's set up first in our warrior 2. So one hand could be on the chair, one hand could reach back behind, or both hands could reach apart in a big T shape. From here, we'll find our side angle. So options again. Right hand could come to the backrest of the chair or to your knee, or the forearm could come to the backrest of the chair or forearm to me. This top hand, the left hand, could come to the waist, or it might do big sweeping arcs. And if your shoulder feels okay, then the arm can sweep up and around about 3 times. It might feel better just to keep that hand on the waist. When you've done about 3 arcs, we'll bring the hand back to the waist if it's not there already. Coming all the way back up to your warrior 2 shape. Arms might stretch apart or one hand on the chair one more time before straightening the leg, releasing the arms, bringing the toes forward and stepping the feet back together. Beautiful. We'll find one balance pose. So turn to face the backrest of your chair. Let there be enough distance between you and the chair that to start, maybe just the fingertips or the upper part of your hand are resting on that chair. Bring the feet as close together as possible so that when we lift one foot, we don't already throw ourselves off balance. Let's lift the right foot back behind us. Keep the foot flexed. And then maybe we start to tip the torso forward, even while lifting the back leg. This is warrior 3. Imagine you've got a full teacup sitting on your low back that we don't want to spill. So imagine keeping your back nice and flat, reaching right foot back, tipping the body forward any amount, and breathing. Can we breathe for 2 more full breaths here? Then slowly coming back, letting the right foot come back down, tipping the body back up, both feet nicely on the ground. Finding any counter movement that would feel good. And we'll find our balance on the other side. Again, hands are resting on the chair. This time the left foot will reach up and back. Left foot stays flexed. And while you lift the left foot, the torso might lean forward any amount. Imagining you've got that teacup on your low back, keeping the low back flat. And reaching out through the left heel, knowing you're supported by the chair with both hands, and breathing. And we stay for 2 more full breath cycles. And slowly coming all the way back down, letting the left foot come back down. Making your way back to standing, finding any counter movement that would feel good. And if there's any last movements that feel like they just would feel good while we're standing here before we come back to standing, then letting your body have that movement, whatever your body is calling to do. If you did a lot of shoulder work, it might feel good to reach hands back behind you, whether that means clasped or holding opposite elbows just for a moment. And then coming to seated whenever you're ready. So as we come to seated, feeling again your body supported on the chair. Let the soles of your feet rest down on the mat, on the floor. And let your hands rest wherever they feel good. Noticing how your breath feels in this moment. Maybe bringing some awareness to the palms of your hands and your pads of your fingers. Noticing any sensations there. Letting your awareness rest on the hands, on the fingers. And noticing if the sensations change as you watch them. And shifting your awareness to your heart center. If it would feel good, you could bring hands over your heart or hands in prayer. With your awareness on your heart center, send yourself gratitude. Send yourself so much gratitude that it spills out of your heart into your torso, into your whole body, reaching all the way to the tip of your head, the tips of your fingers, and the tips of your toes, filling your entire body with gratitude. Thanking yourself for making the time to move and breathe today, for honoring your body and breath. With gratitude from me to you for allowing me to guide you through the practice today. And with gratitude to all the students and teachers who've come before us, passing down this practice. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om peace, peace, peace. Thank you all. I'll stop the recording.